Hi, my name is Ashish and this is the now video for AWS Solution Architect Associate Level Exam. In this video, we will see what is Cloudfront CDN, that is the Content Delivery Network. I'm sorry for the spelling here, it's Cloudfront, not Cloudfront. It happens. Check the intro. Okay, what is Amazon Cloudfront? Now check the spelling is correct. Amazon Cloudfront is a web service that speeds up distribution of your static and dynamic web content such as your HTML, CSS, JavaScript and image files to your users. So let's say here is the user and he or she is trying to access a file which is in United States. Okay, now what happens is he'll have to, like, the user is sitting in India and trying to access a file in United States, he will go directly to United States to fetch that file, and that is the origin of that file, right? Now what happens is when a user requests content that you are serving with Cloudfront, the user is routed to the edge location, where it says the edge location that provides the lowest latency, right? So what happens is there are edge locations set up by the CDNs. Let's say E, and this is edge location, this is edge location, this is an edge location. So if the content is already in the edge location with the lowest latency, Cloudfront delivers it immediately. So let's say the edge location is this, one of the edge location, and the content is cached onto this location, right? So when the user would request again the same content, the request would first go to my edge location and would be directly served from the edge location to the user. So that is the low latency distribution network, and the origin of the file, which can be your storage account, which can be your EC2 instance, can be, and it stores that content that you want to store that onto the edge location. So it would be at this edge location, it would be at this edge location, it would be at this edge location, and this edge location as well. If the content is not in that edge location, Cloudfront retrieves it from an origin that you have defined. So we would be defining the origin of each and every edge location so that it can go to that origin, right, and fetch that content, right? It would go here, it would go here, it would go here, right? And like I said, the origin can be your S3 bucket, your media package channel, or an HTTP server, for example your web server that you have identified as the source for the definitive version of your content. So I hope this was clear to you. Let me log on to the portal and take it from there. Alright, I'm logged on to the console here. So let me just quickly create an S3 bucket here through which my content would be served to my edge location, as I mentioned earlier. So we'll create an S3 bucket. So let me create this bucket in Sydney. So I'm recording this video in India. I am creating this bucket in the Sydney location so that when we access a certain file, that would be accessed from Sydney location. Let me upload my picture. Still uploading. I see an image. When I click on that image, I see, I click open, I know this pop-up. I see my image. Okay, image is fine. Now I go to services. I click on Cloudfront. It says either you search, returned no results, or you do not have any distribution. So if you have not created a Cloudfront CDN, you will get this screen. And distribution allows you to distribute content using a worldwide network of edge locations. Remember, we talked about edge locations through which my latency would be less when I am accessing your data. Like I'm sitting in India and would be accessing my data from the bucket which I made for the Sydney location. Okay, let's create a distribution. So there are two types of distribution. Creates a web distribution if you want to speed up the distribution of static and dynamic content, and the HTTP or HTTPS. You do RTMP to speed up distribution of your streaming media files using Adobe Media Flash Player. So we're going to use this web distribution because we're going to serve a graphic an image file using an S3 bucket, right? Get started. My bucket, it will show you the drop down as well. So origin, domain name. Do not think that you can only enter the domain name here. You can enter your bucket as well, right? Path, optional. Origin ID by itself. Restrict bucket access, no. So I'm going to keep this options as default. The viewer protocol policy, default cache behavior settings. So this is the cache behavior wherein the edge location which cache the file from my origin, right? So there is a certain limit of time wherein the files would be cached, and I can update my files in my edge location from my origin. Let's say I suppose I replace an image or I update this image with the new image. I can do it. I am not using any lambda functions, and I click on create distribution. It says it is in progress. Okay, till the time my distribution point is getting created, let me show you a few of the options that are available in the Cloudfront CDN. This is the general option. We have the ARN price class would be to use all the edge locations provided by Amazon Cloudfront. My state is enabled, but though the creation is still in progress. The SSL certificate is given by the Amazon, which is wildcard cert. Domain name is already defined by my Amazon, and the supported HTTP versions are 2.1 and 1.0. And the origin and origin groups is my bucket name that I gave. Behaviors is Cloudfront compares a request for an object with the path patterns in your cache behaviors based on the order of the cache behaviors in your distribution. So you can configure your cache behavior here if you want to for the objects that would be cached onto my Amazon Cloudfront from the origin. And you can see this error pages if you want that if the data is not available on the edge location and the edge location is not able to retrieve the data from the origin. So you want to mention what would be the error responses in that case. You can set them up here. If you go to restrictions, if you want to prevent the users in selected countries from accessing the content that is hosted onto my this distribution point or the Cloudfront CDN, we can either whitelist the countries locations or we can blacklist them so that users cannot access it. Invalidations, that is not required for this exam. See these tags you can define to your distributions to help you recognize and identify them like we do in every other service that we create. So let me check again if this is done. Oh, it's still in progress. I would have to pause it and come back when it is completed. Alright, so it says it is deployed, and then you can click on here and you can check the distribution settings which I told you earlier. You can change them, you can update them, and you can see what are the popular objects you want to enable it for this distribution settings. So this is how you create a Cloudfront distribution. This is how you make that bucket as an origin of this. So I hope this was clear to you, and I'll see you in the next video. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share this videos with all your teammates, mention in your feedbacks in the comment section, and I see you in the next video. Till then, have a great day.